Today we're diving into the fascinating life of Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged woman who amazed audiences and defied societal norms. Her story is one of resilience, curiosity, and breaking barriers. Let's get started. Myrtle Corbin, a renowned American sideshow performer, captured the fascination of audiences with her extraordinary physical condition. She had 4 legs. Her unique anatomy not only amazed spectators, but also made her a subject of curiosity and study. In 1887, Corbin began experiencing persistent pain in her left side. As she sought medical attention, her doctors discovered a startling truth that would redefine their understanding of her already rare condition. Through their examination, they confirmed Corbin was pregnant. What made this revelation even more extraordinary was that her anatomy was unlike anything most had ever encountered. Due to an exceedingly rare congenital defect, Corbin's body was divided into 2 distinct halves from the waist down. Essentially, she possessed 2 fully developed pelvic regions, including 2 sets of reproductive organs, making her, in a sense, 2 women in one body. While modern parallels might seem far-fetched, one could humorously suggest that if the Bee Gees had been aware of Myrtle Corbin's condition, their song More Than a Woman might have been inspired by her remarkable story. Her unique physiology not only set her apart, but also encapsulated the intersection of medical rarity and public fascination during the Victorian era. Myrtle Corbin's life took a complicated and often degrading turn when her condition became the centerpiece of a career in circuses and sideshow performances. Born on May 12, 1868 in Lincoln County, Tennessee, Myrtle's entry into the world was preceded by an unusual observation. Her parents, both possessing striking blue eyes, fair skin, and auburn hair, bore an uncanny resemblance to one another. This similarity sparked early speculation among doctors that there might be familial ties between them, though no evidence confirmed this. Anticipating a potentially unusual delivery due to these observations, the medical team was prepared for complications. However, the delivery itself was surprisingly normal. What they weren't prepared for was the sight of the newborn. When Myrtle was born, the attending doctors discovered she had a condition called dipygus, a rare congenital defect that left her with 2 pelvises extending from the waist and 4 legs. This anomaly left her parents shocked and confused, prompting them to seek answers from the medical community. Initially, doctors hypothesized that Myrtle's parents might be distant relatives, but this theory was quickly dismissed. Instead, they speculated that the mother's older age, nearly a decade senior to the father, might have contributed to this rare outcome. While this explanation would hold little merit by modern standards, at the time, the medical community grasped at any possible reasoning. Myrtle's parents, despite their initial shock and confusion, made remarkable efforts to provide a loving and supportive environment for their daughter. The family faced societal judgment, as many in their community struggled to understand Myrtle's condition. Her father, William Corbin, was a resourceful man who not only sought medical explanations, but also worked tirelessly to ensure Myrtle's future. Meanwhile, her mother bore the emotional brunt of raising a child who was constantly under scrutiny. Together, they navigated the challenges of raising Myrtle while maintaining a sense of normalcy for her and their other children. The siblings' role in Myrtle's life was also significant. Willie Ann, Myrtle's younger sister, had a close relationship with her, often stepping in to shield her from public ridicule. This familial bond gave Myrtle a sense of stability in an otherwise unpredictable life. Despite the pressure of raising a child with such an unusual condition, the Corbins managed to foster a supportive home environment that helped Myrtle develop her resilience and positive outlook. A more dramatic theory soon emerged. Some doctors suggested that Myrtle was, in fact, the result of a partially absorbed twin. In their view, her twin sister's development ceased at the waist, leaving Myrtle with two lower halves. While the exact cause of her condition remained a mystery, the medical consensus converged on one significant point: the birth could have been catastrophic. Doctors explained to her parents that if Myrtle had been delivered in a breech position, both mother and child might not have survived the ordeal. This realization, coupled with the fact that Myrtle was thriving despite her deformity, brought a bittersweet sense of relief to the family. Despite her physical anomaly, Myrtle was a healthy infant, weighing a robust 10 pounds at 3 weeks old. From the waist up, she developed typically, but her lower body presented significant challenges. While she had two stronger functional legs on the outside, the two smaller legs situated between them were underdeveloped, shorter, and lacked strength, each ending in only 3 toes. Unfortunately, the pairing of her legs complicated matters further. Each strong leg was paired with one of the weaker ones, making walking a significant challenge. To compound her difficulties, one of her stronger legs was affected by a club foot, causing it to curve inward. These physical challenges were daunting enough, but Myrtle would also face the harsh prejudices and scrutiny of society. The scientific and medical communities wasted no time documenting Myrtle's condition in journals and articles. Unfortunately, their descriptions were anything but empathetic. Some doctors referred to her as a living monstrosity, while others classified her as belonging to a class of monsters by fusion. The invasion of privacy extended beyond cruel labels. Medical professionals published explicit descriptions of her anatomy and even her bodily functions, reducing her humanity to a scientific curiosity. As these details became public knowledge, Myrtle's condition attracted widespread attention, propelling her into an unwanted spotlight. Despite the often dehumanizing language used in their reports, the medical community's fascination with Myrtle Corbin's condition contributed to advancements in understanding congenital anomalies. Her case became a reference point for studying dipygus and similar rare conditions, shaping the early medical understanding of developmental anomalies caused by incomplete twinning. Several of the detailed studies conducted on Myrtle were later used as foundational references in embryology and medical textbooks. Myrtle's condition also sparked ethical debates in the medical field. The invasive and highly publicized scrutiny of her body raised questions about patient consent and the limits of medical curiosity. These discussions, though nascent at the time, laid the groundwork for later conversations about medical ethics, particularly in the study of rare conditions. In addition, Myrtle's case indirectly contributed to the development of specialized medical tools and techniques. Doctors who examined her often had to adapt their methods to accommodate her unique anatomy, leading to innovations that would later benefit patients with other complex medical needs. While Myrtle herself may not have benefited directly from these advancements, her case undoubtedly influenced the trajectory of medical research in significant ways. Recognizing the public fascination with their daughter, Myrtle's parents, particularly her father William, saw an opportunity to alleviate the family's financial struggles. When Myrtle was just 5 weeks old, her parents began inviting neighbors to view her unusual anatomy for a small fee. The success of these informal exhibitions encouraged William to expand his efforts. Soon, he placed ads in local newspapers, complete with illustrations of Myrtle seated in a high chair, her 4 legs visible beneath a short dress. These ads captured public imagination, turning Myrtle into a national sensation and prompting her father to embark on a full-fledged tour across the country, showcasing his daughter at fairs and sideshows. The demands of traveling were immense, but the family's financial needs were greater. As Myrtle grew older, her fame caught the attention of P.T. Barnum, a prominent showman infamous for his unscrupulous tactics. Barnum, known for exploiting so-called freaks for profit, saw Myrtle's condition as a golden opportunity. Despite Barnum's reputation as a manipulative businessman, Myrtle's father negotiated a lucrative contract for her, ensuring she would earn $250 per week, a significant amount at the time. This partnership catapulted Myrtle into the national limelight, but it also placed her in an environment notorious for its cruelty and exploitation. Under Barnum's management, Myrtle performed regularly, showcasing her unique condition to audiences who were both fascinated and shocked. Her performances, though seemingly straightforward, often involved exposing her lower body in a way that invited gawking and dehumanization. Barnum's exploitative practices extended beyond his human performers, with reports of inhumane treatment of animals in his shows. Despite the harsh realities of this world, Myrtle maintained her resilience, navigating the complexities of her dual identity as both a medical marvel and a human being. Myrtle Corbin, despite the challenges of her condition and the world she inhabited, stood out not as a shy or melancholic figure, but as a vibrant and optimistic individual. Her positivity and charisma were integral to her success and appeal. When P.T. Barnum first met Myrtle, he quickly recognized the potential for her to become a star attraction in his shows. However, securing her participation was no straightforward affair. While Barnum was known for his sharp, often exploitative business acumen, Myrtle's father, William Corbin, proved to be a surprisingly capable negotiator. Years of traveling and managing Myrtle's early career had clearly sharpened his skills, allowing him to secure a remarkable contract for his daughter. She would earn $250 per week, a staggering sum for the era, equivalent to approximately $7,000 in today's currency. This financial success, however, came with a heavy price. Under Barnum's management, Myrtle's performances were designed to be both simple and dramatic, capitalizing on the audience's curiosity. When she appeared on stage, she initially presented a modest and unassuming image. Dressed in a long skirt that concealed her unique anatomy, she gave little indication of her extraordinary condition, beyond the slightly wider appearance of her hips and a subtle limp. The real spectacle unfolded when Myrtle would sit down and, in a calculated and theatrical moment, lift her skirt to reveal her four legs. The reaction was predictable. Audiences were stunned, often gasping in shock or amazement. To onlookers, this might have seemed like an easy way to make money. But for Myrtle, the reality of life in Barnum's world was far from glamorous. Behind the scenes, Barnum's reputation for ruthlessness cast a long shadow over Myrtle's career. The same man who was hailed as a master showman had built his empire on methods that were often cruel and dehumanizing. His treatment of both animals and human performers was notorious. For instance, he was reported to use torturous methods to train his animal acts, including burning elephants to force compliance. While Myrtle's interactions with Barnum may not have involved physical cruelty, the exploitative nature of her performances and the invasive attention she endured were psychological burdens she had to bear. To earn her generous weekly salary, Myrtle had to navigate the harsh and often humiliating environment of Barnum's sideshows. She was not merely an entertainer, but a spectacle, expected to withstand the gawking stares and whispered judgments of the public. Life in this world was a double-edged sword. It provided financial stability and fame, but came at the cost of personal dignity and autonomy. For Myrtle, maintaining her upbeat personality in such a dehumanizing atmosphere was nothing short of remarkable. However, her resilience and determination allowed her to carve out a unique space for herself in an otherwise unforgiving industry. Barnum's harsh treatment extended far beyond his animal acts and left a lasting impact on his human performers. Among his most infamous displays was a man suffering from a condition known as microcephaly, which caused his head to be abnormally small. Barnum cruelly nicknamed him Zip the Pinhead and shamelessly marketed him as a mysterious curiosity, labeling him the missing link. To heighten the spectacle, Zip was often displayed in a cage alongside monkeys, reinforcing a narrative that stripped him of his humanity. This type of exploitation was a hallmark of Barnum's approach to entertainment, and while Myrtle Corbin managed to navigate this world, she was not immune to its humiliating effects. As the years passed, Myrtle began to feel the emotional toll of being treated as an object of fascination. The constant public scrutiny left her yearning for a sense of normalcy, a life where she wasn't merely a spectacle for others to gawk at. This longing became even more pronounced when she observed her younger sister, Willie Ann, living what seemed to be a typical life. Willie Ann attended social gatherings, went on dates, and eventually became engaged. Watching her sister plan a wedding underscored the stark contrast between their lives and reminded Myrtle of the challenges she would face in the dating world as a woman with 4 legs. Despite these challenges, Myrtle was far from unworthy of romantic attention. Years of traveling with Barnum had made her cultured and worldly, and she was known for her pleasant demeanor and musical talents. Physically, she was attractive, and her substantial income from the Sideshows made her financially independent, a rare quality for women of her time. These attributes made her a desirable match, and she attracted several admirers. However, Myrtle faced a significant hurdle. She could not discern who among these suitors was genuinely interested in her and who was drawn to her wealth. Her impressive salary, which outpaced that of many men, brought with it the risk of attracting fortune hunters masquerading as sincere suitors. Fate, however, seemed to have other plans for Myrtle. In 1885, during preparations for Willie Ann's wedding, Myrtle found herself intrigued by the groom's brother, James Clinton Bicknell. James, who was studying to become a doctor, presented a unique opportunity for Myrtle. His career aspirations and evident self-sufficiency suggested he was unlikely to be motivated by her earnings. Unlike her previous interactions with potential suitors, this connection felt promising. What's more, Myrtle didn't have to go to great lengths to win James over. He was already interested in her. His admiration was genuine, and his medical background likely gave him a deeper understanding of Myrtle's condition, reducing the barriers that might have existed with others. 6 months after Willie Ann's wedding, Myrtle and James exchanged their own vows. With this marriage, Myrtle finally stepped away from the world of sideshows and freak shows, leaving behind the stage that had defined much of her early life. For the first time, she was able to embrace a semblance of the normalcy she had long desired, finding companionship and love on her own terms. In her 40s, Myrtle Corbin decided to step back into the public eye, but this time on her own terms. Unlike her earlier career, which was heavily influenced and often controlled by others like P.T. Barnum, this phase of her life was markedly different. Myrtle had gained a new sense of independence, akin to a modern-day pop star reclaiming their narrative. She now had complete creative control over her performances, deciding everything from how she presented herself on stage to what she wore. With no one dictating her actions or exploiting her for profit, she could finally express herself authentically, which resonated strongly with audiences. Her return to the sideshow circuit was met with instant success. Audiences, intrigued by both nostalgia and her unique story, flocked to see her. Myrtle's self-directed performances were captivating, and she quickly regained her status as a sought-after entertainer. Determined to build on this momentum, she expanded her appearances to major venues, including Coney Island in New York, Riverview Park in Chicago, and even the prestigious Ringling Brothers Circus. With each performance, Myrtle solidified her reputation as a seasoned professional who had mastered the art of captivating crowds. The financial rewards reflected her renewed popularity. As a young performer, she had earned an impressive $250 a week, a fortune for the time. Now, as an experienced and independent entertainer, her weekly salary climbed to a staggering $450, equivalent to over $13,000 in today's currency. This remarkable income was a testament to her enduring appeal and the loyalty of her audience. Myrtle had once again reached the pinnacle of her career, proving that her resilience and charisma could overcome the challenges of her past. However, her renewed success came with a new set of challenges. The sideshow world was evolving, and competition was growing fiercer. New acts emerged, each striving to capture the public's attention with their own unique features or abilities. While Myrtle remained a prominent figure, the shifting landscape of the industry signaled that she would need to continue innovating to maintain her position at the top. Despite this, her ability to adapt and thrive in such a competitive environment was a testament to her extraordinary spirit and determination. When Myrtle Corbin retired from performing, it marked the end of an era in the sideshow industry. Her rare condition, which had made her a unique attraction, left a void no one else could easily fill. However, not long after she left the stage, something bizarre occurred. Reports began surfacing of other women with similar four-legged conditions. At first, it seemed like an inexplicable wave of medical anomalies, but upon closer examination, it became clear these so-called four-legged women were frauds. They shamelessly attached artificial limbs to create the illusion of Corbin's rare anatomy. While some may say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Corbin had little time to concern herself with these imposters. She faced more pressing personal matters as her life took a dramatic turn. A year into her marriage, Myrtle's health began to decline. She experienced fever, headaches, and persistent pain in her left side, prompting a medical examination by Dr. L.S.Y. The diagnosis was as extraordinary as Myrtle herself. She was pregnant. Because of her dual anatomy, the pregnancy was confined to her left reproductive system, something that puzzled her doctor. When he relayed the news, Myrtle's response left him momentarily confused until the reality of her situation became clear. Her unique physiology gave her a choice of sides in her intimate life, and she had assumed conception would occur on the right. This revelation highlighted just how unprecedented her condition was. No one with her anatomy had ever given birth before. She embarked on her pregnancy with courage, unaware of the challenges that lay ahead. Sadly, Myrtle's health deteriorated as her pregnancy progressed, and the situation became critical. 8 weeks into Dr. Y's care, he made the heart-wrenching decision to terminate the pregnancy, as continuing posed significant risks to her life. While Myrtle and her husband undoubtedly wished to mourn this loss privately, news of her pregnancy reignited public interest. The medical community, both in the United States and abroad, began writing about her condition again. But this time, the narrative was different. Unlike the humiliating and invasive descriptions of her earlier years, these articles emphasized her intelligence, attractiveness, and ability to manage a household. For once, Myrtle was being celebrated for her humanity rather than being reduced to her physical anomaly. Determined to build a family despite her challenges, Myrtle continued trying to conceive. Over the years, she gave birth to 7 children, although only 4 survived infancy. Despite these tragedies, Myrtle found joy and fulfillment in raising her family. She and her husband relocated from Tennessee to Texas, where they focused on providing a quiet, stable life for their children. Away from the spotlight, Myrtle embraced domesticity, far removed from her days as a sideshow performer. However, this peaceful period would not last indefinitely. Speculation arose that financial difficulties might have driven Myrtle back to performing after 20 years of retirement. Whatever the reason, she briefly returned to the stage, reclaiming her status as a performer and once again drawing crowds. During this time, she faced competition from performers like Francesco Lentini, an Italian-born showman who wowed audiences with his 3 legs, each of a different size. Lentini's athleticism and charisma made him a rising star in the industry, signaling a shift in audience preferences. Recognizing the changing tides, Myrtle retired once again, this time for good. Her final years were marked by a quiet life with her family, but a sudden illness brought her journey to an abrupt end. In 1928, she developed a rash on her right leg, which would likely have been easily treatable with modern antibiotics. However, medical advancements of the time were insufficient, and just a week after her diagnosis, Myrtle passed away on May 6, 1928, at the age of 59. Even in death, Myrtle's uniqueness presented challenges. Her family, aware of the scientific and collector's interest in her remains, took extraordinary precautions. Her coffin was encased in solid concrete to deter grave robbers, and family members kept watch until it hardened completely. Offers from collectors and scientists seeking to purchase her skeleton confirmed the family's fears. Myrtle's body remained a source of fascination even after her passing. In the decades that followed, Myrtle's legacy endured in surprising ways. The 1990s saw a hoax involving a supposed 4-legged bride named Ashley Brassel, whose wedding photo stirred tabloids before it was revealed to be fake. Myrtle's claim as the original 4-legged woman remained unchallenged. In 2015, poet Diane Seuss released 4-Legged Girl, a collection inspired by Myrtle's story, proving her life continued to captivate and inspire. Today, Myrtle Corbin's influence extends to modern freak shows that celebrate uniqueness rather than exploit it. Performers at places like Coney Island and Venice Beach embrace their individuality, often forming unions to protect their rights and secure benefits. Progress that would have undoubtedly made Myrtle proud. Her life, though filled with hardship, remains a testament to resilience, reinvention, and the enduring impact of her extraordinary journey. In 2021, an unexpected and deeply insensitive discovery brought Myrtle Corbin's story back into public attention in a most unfortunate way. While shopping in a craft store in Waterloo, Canada, a customer stumbled across Halloween decorations that prominently featured Corbin's image. The photograph depicted her seated gracefully, her carefully coordinated socks and shoes creating an air of dignity. However, rather than being presented as the historical figure she was, her image was reduced to a mere Halloween prop. The implication was that Corbin, with her rare and unique condition, somehow belonged among the macabre symbols of the holiday, ghosts, goblins, and other spooky figures typically associated with fear and the grotesque. This careless treatment of her legacy highlighted the lingering ignorance and prejudice that Myrtle had fought against throughout her life. While society had made significant strides in recognizing and respecting individual differences, instances like this served as a stark reminder that misconceptions and insensitivity still persisted. The use of Corbin's image in such a context trivialized the challenges she overcame and the resilience she embodied, reducing her extraordinary story to little more than a sensationalized caricature. The shopper who encountered this item was understandably disturbed. viewing the decoration as not just inappropriate, but also heartless. The incident sparked conversations about how historical figures, especially those who endured exploitation during their lifetimes, should be treated with dignity and respect in modern representations. For many, it served as a call to reevaluate the ways society continues to engage with the stories of people like Myrtle Corbin, individuals who defied odds and societal biases, yet whose lives are sometimes misrepresented or reduced to mere spectacle for entertainment. Thanks for watching. Myrtle Corbin's incredible journey reminds us to embrace uniqueness and overcome challenges. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. See you next time.